yeah, I can. Yep, we've got about this much space
Okay.
above your head.
So even if we,
Okay, you're still good.
Okay,
you're still good.
Okay, good. So is it recording?
It's recording. Wait,
Okay.
is there recording?
Recording.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there a red light on this side? I
No,
don't
there
know if
isn't.
There is.
No,
Oh, there's
there
supposed to
wasn't.
be when I'm doing that. There we
No,
go.
there's no red light. So we're starting again.
Let me fix all my. I'm ready for my close up. No. Oops.
So we're
There
going
we
to put
go.
my hands on the table. I'm going to keep them still.
So how did we start? Okay.
You just said hi.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Now I don't know what to do with my hands. This might be in the outtakes.
Yeah.
Actually,
We already screwed one up, so.
So, our World of Wonders take 2.
Yeah.
100. No. Hi, I'm Michelle,
I'm Charlotte.
and welcome to
Our World of Wonders.
We're back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Too long.
But so we're asking the people who love our videos to help us out a little bit.
Yeah, we're looking for some ideas on places to investigate. It doesn't necessarily have to be a haunted building. It could be, like you were saying, people just assume hauntings have to happen in buildings. They have to happen in houses or churches or hotels or whatever, or jails. But hauntings can happen anywhere. It could be in a field. It could be in a woods. It could be the land that's haunted. So it could be any place really that is, like you say, give you a strange feeling.
Like if you get the weird willies we used to call when we were kids, or you just have an unusual feeling. There's a field you go by, or maybe there's a park or the woods or a creek,
a marsh, or could be anything.
And it doesn't have to be out in nature either. It could be an empty parking lot.
Yeah.
Sometimes buildings that were there have left an imprint. So even though the buildings are gone, there's still something within that area.
Now we're looking for within a certain range. So around like the Coburg Port Hope area, maybe as far east as Belleville, Kingston, north to Peterborough, east or west to Oshawa. I don't drive in Toronto, so I'm not going into Toronto unless we go on the train.
And I don't drive, so if Charlotte's not driving,
we're not going.
We're not going.
So anywhere within that radius, like within an hour, say an hour.
Yeah, something like
that.
Hour
And a half, even maybe radius. Because I know our work schedules kind of conflict. So it can be hard for us to get a day to go anywhere.
Yeah, we have a better chance now that, sort of our lives are getting straightened out a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're starting to get to that point where our health and other issues are allowing us to go out and do things again.
Exactly, yeah.
And
spring is here, so we don't have to worry about bad weather. So
I do have a bad back and bad leg, but I can get out to certain areas.
It's not like we're going to be hiking or anything. I mean, one of the investigations we did was last year, I guess it was the year before. It was the Kids Woods, where it was just a country road in some woods, and we just parked the car and did our investigation just along that little stretch of road.
Well, even that little abandoned house that was by a farm, and the farmer boy, he was watching us. He wasn't letting us out of his sight. We got the best EVPs, that we've had.
And we weren't even in the building. We were actually sitting in the car.
Yeah. So areas like that, or places that you've heard stories about. Sometimes you say, "Oh, Grandma said there was a place over by the creek," or "Never go over that way." Or sometimes you just get a feeling of being watched. It might not be anything significant.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's like the woods below here. Well, there's a section of that woods where I remember even Mom saying that. She said she would walk through there and she just felt like something was watching her. And that's like, I'm talking 40 years ago.
Well, that might be a good idea.
And any time like I've been down there, I felt the same way. Now, it is not easy getting down there. That's the problem. Because it's like that 45-degree angle down.
I have been down part of the hill.
Well,
not very far. I would have to have my big walking stick
thing,
because I'm not good on angles. Like straight up and down, I'm totally good.
Yeah.
A little rough turf, I start to have problems with balance. But I'm not going to fall over and get into trouble.
Roll down the hill or something.
I'm round, I do roll. So we're looking for any unusual place, questions. Maybe there's something that you've got a question about. We would also like to do a lot of little informative videos on how to clear places and how to choose people if you're calling someone to come into your house. We're not mediums. Well, we don't do mediumship.
No.
So we're not doing readings and things. We're energy workers. We can read a lot of stuff, but it's not something that we choose to do.
No.
So if you come and say, my grandma died and I want to know a message, that's not us.
No, that's not something I would even feel confident about doing.
No. But to be on the fair side, like if something were to come up and we sensed or felt something, we would say, I get the feeling it's an older woman.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But we're not going to do a reading and give you messages from the other side. So that's not something we do.
No,
we're just putting that out there right now. But what we would like to do is to teach you how to recognize, how to react to certain things, how to clear. And the reason that's one of my big things is because you really don't know when someone tells you, I've got this training and I've done this and I've been doing this for 100 years. You don't know what their initial intent inside is.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it is genuinely to help, but if they were taught by people who didn't really know what they were doing or only had half the information, then that person is working without having all of the info.
Yeah.
So even though they may have a lot of experience, sometimes they don't have that key, which we hope to show you in future videos. Whenever we go to a place where we do find something, we do energy work in that area. We don't necessarily show you, but I think it's time to show you how smudging works,
right?
How drumming, chimes, and not just this is what you do. It's the information behind how it works, why it works, and when somebody who's in panic mode, yells at you, got to call a priest. That's usually the last person you need to call because they are taught a very specific way on how to do something. And when you're using good energy, as in Jesus, of whom I've talked to on many occasion, when you're using that kind of energy, but you're using attack mode, you are going to be drawing more of that negative attack mode to you, so you will be making the situation worse. And you need to know how to avoid that.
And that's coming from a fear base, which fear just feeds on itself and makes everything worse.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, if you're coming from a place of fear, it's going to feed on itself and it's going to actually attract more things to be afraid of.
Oh, totally.
So,
And so when you take... And we've come across some really dark energies. The darkest one I ever came across is at the Coburg Jail.
Well,
One of those lovely places. Well, there was 2 energies there, and one is still there. And part of the reason why it's still there, even though we've done investigations there, I've done three big clearings 3 years in a row on Halloween Eve at midnight. Oh yes, I pulled my Wicca out, and it's still there. And one of the reasons that it's still there is that the owners, I mean, it's closed now, so it's not open to the public, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
But the owners and several other people use that as a focal point for making money. So this big dark thing that's there feeds off of drunken people and fear and a lot of things, and has grown so large at this point, and because the owner doesn't want it to go away, it's very difficult to clear something like that.
But
so it's there. There's a lot of places where you can clear someone, but they can come back, and that's another thing to talk about.
Yeah,
that I forgot about.
Yeah,
in the first run,
because you see that a lot in some of the shows where they get somebody to come in and do a clearing or whatever, and then things seem to settle down for a while, and like days or weeks or months later, it starts to ramp up again.
And we can explain exactly why that happens in an episode, but it all depends on when you leave, like when the people that have cleared have left. What are the people in the house doing? Are they falling back into that old fear mode? Oh, I'm so afraid they're going to come back.
Yeah.
If they knew how to clear themselves, which is why we want to focus on teaching you how, then you don't have to have that fear because you know what to do. And if you start getting that weird feeling like, oh, I think something's happening, you draw down the light, you ground, you send the energy out, and it's done. It's actually pretty simple.
Well, yeah.
But you have to know how to do it. And the second you doubt it, that's when other things start to happen.
Exactly.
And we can explain all of that. Smudging works, yes, but it's more than smudging. And drumming works, yes, but it's more than drumming.
Right.
And there's all those little tiny key pieces. Like when I was in Hamilton and I ended up getting an attachment because a very good friend of mine it was the 70s, okay, and I'm well trained and I know what I'm doing. And we were very interested in the paranormal. You know, there was a group of about 5 of us who could actually see this person.
Yeah.
And interact with this person on a regular basis. So, yes, it was kind of horrifying. Yes, it was really interesting. But then I ended up with a really big attachment that took 3.5 years to get rid of, and then several years later, because I was meeting more people that are into this kind of thing, and Valerie, of course, and thinking about this person, well, boom, it's like, hello, I'm back. But I knew at that point, I knew what to do. Before, when I had the original attachment, it was all hit and miss and learn as you go. There was no internet. There were no books.
Yeah.
If there were books, it was the Jane Roberts books were out there.
Yeah.
But they were frightening to watch. The pictures of her she channeled, and she'd be all like looking strange and scaring as a teenager, like, I don't want to do that. But once I was at an age where I knew what was going on, and I read The Eternal Validity of the Soul, I think it's called.
Yeah, I got that book actually on the shelf.
Probably the one book that was like the connect the dots. I had all these experiences happening, lived my life through fear for many, many years because I couldn't understand what was going on, couldn't talk to my family, couldn't talk to my friends. You know, I thought maybe I was going schizophrenic. Well, seeing and hearing things that no one else can hear and see.
That's right.
And all of a sudden it was like, oh, so that's what was going on. And then little by little you're almost 60. Well, you're not, but I am. And it's like, it's actually easy. I was making it difficult.
Yeah. Sometimes it takes a lifetime.
Yeah. So we're going to pass on this information so that you don't need to feel afraid, or you don't need to, call a priest because something scary kind of happened. Because there's so many different things that some people, imprints seem like hauntings, but they're not hauntings. There's nothing intelligent behind what's going on. It's like a Memorex where a huge amount of emotional energy was absorbed into the area, whether the wood of the house, the limestone,
and we have so much limestone in this area. Like the bedrock is all limestone.
I think that's why Kingston Jail is like that, because
Kingston is like the limestone city.
Yeah. Like if you mix limestone and water,
if not the world.
Because the limestone and water is a massive, massive like energy.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems to enhance it like 1,000-fold.
Well, yeah.
As opposed to other places. We were at a cottage that was built with lake stones from Rice Lake, and I believe there was limestone there too.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
So she's on the water. She's got the rocks, and as they're explaining to us what's happening and what's there, I'm looking around going, yeah, he's like right there. She goes, oh, can you see him? It's like, yeah, he's right there, and this is what he's wearing. And she's like, yeah. So there's certain things like that is good to know, so that if you are experiencing something, there are ways to help to clear the negative energy.
Yeah.
But you never take something good, like you call a priest, you want to use the Bible, you want to do something in Jesus' name, which, Jesus is high, he's a lovely guy. I know, I have talked to him and I'm not afraid to admit it. And he's nothing like what you think, but they never are. But if you take the Bible and you start banishing people, or you trying to attack them in any kind of way, you can only use love. And if you're not coming from that spot of love, you are going to be drawing every negative. It's like sending out a giant magnet.
Right, yeah.
And it's going to draw that to you.
All that back.
Even if the thing that you think is happening to you isn't really happening the way you think. Let's say you've got an overactive outlet and there's a lot of EMF naturally coming into your house from like a power center somewhere. Like, and it's not wired properly. It can make you feel like you're being watched. It can make you feel weird because it is a physical thing interacting with your body.
Yeah.
Then you get afraid. Well, when you're afraid and you start thinking that you're being attacked, you're putting out that vibrational frequency of being afraid and being attacked. And that will open a portal, basically, and draw that to you. So these little things you really do sort of need to know.
Yeah.
And now, were you talking about in this one about people coming in and clearing? Did we talk about that before or after? Sorry, we already did this once.
Yeah, we screwed up the first one, so we had to do it again. But our heads were cut off, and I was twiddling my thumbs too much, and
it's not like we've ever done this before. But you were talking about
I've forgotten
having someone come in to clear an area, and then they leave. And then later on it gets worse.
Oh, yeah, we just talked about that.
Yeah. So those kind of things, if you've got questions and we'll try to remember that we need to do a video about this, but we do need your participation. We need your
some
questions,
suggestions.
Because we don't want to be just an investigation. Oh, this place is haunted, let's go there.
Yeah.
Because that's not always the best place to go.
Well, and not only that, but I mean... well, a lot of the places, especially like old abandoned houses or churches or whatever, jails, you can't just walk into them and investigate. I mean, they're
not like we could even 6 years ago.
Well, yeah, they're mostly boarded up. There's no trespassing signs all over the place. You can get into big trouble going in there unless you find who the owner is and get permissions. So you don't have to do that with the woods or unless it's obviously on somebody's property. But, and there's lots of places like that, or cemeteries.
You even sensed someone, I don't know if it was a stockyard or an old garbage place. You said that there was somebody that you felt, I can't remember, it's built up now. It's like a parking lot or something now, I think. And that's another good...
that's not ringing a bell.
Sometimes if you feel weird in a parking lot for no reason.
Well, yeah. It could be something in the land.
Or there's a temperature change. That's always a really big thing.
Yeah.
Where it's a nice day, it's not windy, you're walking on a trail in the woods, and suddenly there's a pocket that's really, really cold. Or really, really hot. Like, for some reason, there's a noticeable difference. And it's not like you walked into an open sun, or there's no real explanation. That's something that we would love to look into.
Well, yeah.
Because we've done ghost box work, we've got EMF machines, we've got temperature guns, we've got cameras. There's a lot of things we can do to see if we can figure out what's going on in that area.
Yeah.
And we know how to clear if it needs to be cleared.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes feeling weird in the woods is not anything unusual.
Well, no, it isn't.
It could be the limestone in the water sending out frequencies that are very high compared to what your body frequency is.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's something simple like that.
There's sometimes, there can be natural explanations for sure.
And of course, thinking of out in the woods just came into my head about the shadow beings. That's a big thing. I see shadow people out of the corner of my eyes, which is normally how you see them. There's a really big... We need to do a big one on that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, because we've got pictures of them. We've discovered... Well, I sort of came to the conclusion after having some things that we did at Victoria Hall, and then relating it to things that happened to me when I was younger, and then suddenly realizing I had that aha!
Well, yeah.
And I went, oh, that's what it is. And it's not what you think it is at all. I mean, there are dark energies out there that are bad, but most... I would say 99% of the guardians that I've come across that look dark, they have a hat.
Yeah.
There's a reason behind why you feel bad, and it's not them. And that's for another video. It's like, but you may have to remind us to film it, because we're old and we forget we've said stuff.
So we should be more organized and have everything written down.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So, places... Incidents that you're not sure about. Stories like my grandma used to say that the such and such group this happened.
Yeah.
Those are great places to go down and see. Is there an energy? Like, just because we're energy workers doesn't always mean we're going to find something.
Sometimes you don't.
We're human. We don't always know. And sometimes portals will open and close. Yeah. So it can be something happening at the moment, and then it's not, and then it's happening again. Yeah, like
and
those
the weather
kind of things
weather conditions can affect it.
Oh, totally.
Thunderstorms can seem to really make things a lot more energetic.
Oh, yeah, and enhance
the energy. Whereas like other days, there'll be nothing.
And I think that's why when we did our Word Willie episode, which was like our first episode, if you haven't seen it, you can check it out. It was a thunderstorm before we got there, that night before. Yeah. And we've got elementals and orbs and faces and a little girl hiding behind the tree, of whom followed us to another site. So it's not like there was something weird there, and then all of a sudden we're in a cemetery miles and miles and miles away, and she showed up again. So we've got a lot of very interesting things, and I think that first one we didn't really expect to get anything.
Well, no, and that was how was that 5 years ago now?
Oh, it'd be
a few years ago now.
Because we haven't filmed for like 2 years.
No, we haven't done a lot because there's been so much going on.
And we had family members that were at the end of their...
Well, that's my dad passed away, and we've had health problems, and my mom, so there hasn't. Your mom passed away, so there's been a lot going on. Everything just kind of fell by the wayside for a while. So
energy's changing. It's a shift in
and it's spring. Yeah. Thank God. Yes. That winter is over.
I hope so. There might be one little blast of something, but it's not going to last more than 2 seconds because the weather's nice now.
So, yeah.
So let us know what you think or what you would like to see, or if you have questions. There's lots of places for comments below. I don't always check as often as I should, but we will let you, I get little messages where it goes bing, bing, message, and hopefully I'll be able to see it. Because I'm computer savvy, sort of. So I do my best.
Well, you got 2 sons that can help you.
Yes. My youngest son, I'll say his name, Fox, but don't tell anybody I said anything. He puts the videos and stuff together for me. He's really great at that. He's been doing it since he was quite young, really. He was still in high school. And actually that was his volunteer hours.
Oh, right.
Because he put so many hours into videoing and editing and slicing and chopping and stuff. Yeah. That was his community hours. So that was really excellent. And from what I understand, the teacher watched a lot of our videos.
Oh, well, that's good.
So if you're still watching and you got questions, come on.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Okay. Yeah,
so
that sounds good.
So there we go. Please, give us a shout.
Yeah.
I'm Michelle.
I'm Charlotte.
And we'd like to know what makes you say,
wow.
I think that worked.
I think that was better.